Hi, I'm Mr. DeClerc, and as an educator I try my best to recommend good books, but I know that students will be most motivated by their peers. Teenagers want to know what their friends are reading, not what a teacher tells them they should read. So my goal here today is to show you what a good book recommendation is like. Hopefully you will be inspired to check out the book, and I also hope that you'll be motivated to create your own book recommendations to share, so that my other students don't have to take my word for it because they have you. So, here we go with my first Touchcast book recommendation. Death is a surprisingly good narrator. He is wry, sardonic, and, well, even likable. Author Marcus Zuzik not only creates an engaging plot, but he expertly makes a usually terrifying subject, death, a thoughtful narrator. And of course, given the subject of war, death is an accomplished participant. The Book Thief is well deserving of its bestseller status, and I highly recommend it to everyone. Now, I'm not really one for World War II books. I wonder how it is possible that the genre hasn't been exhausted yet. Had I known that The Book Thief was a World War II book, I probably would have passed on it, but in so doing, I would have passed on an extraordinary story. Fortunately for me, I'm too lazy to bother reading the summary found on the back covers of books, so I had no idea what I was getting when I picked up The Book Thief. Zuzik's story is about a young girl who is given up for adoption after her baby brother dies. The first time that death encounters the young girl, Lysel, is when he picks up the soul of her baby brother. During his quick visit, he notices something remarkable about Lysel, and he has the fortune, or misfortune as it may be, since he is death after all, to see her time and time again. And as death follows her life, he graciously tells us all about her. Lysel is a German girl growing up in Nazi Germany. She is a sweet character, and readers will easily fall in love with her. This was a bit shocking to me because I've never read a sympathetic story about Germans during World War II. I did appreciate this, though, because not all Germans hated Jews. Not all Germans wanted to kill Jews. And in fact, some Germans risked their lives and their own families to protect Jews. Lysel's family did. Lysel's adopted mother and father are such great characters. Her father is as sweet and loving as Lysel is, and her mother is harsh on the outside, but a total softie inside. While much of the story is simply about Lysel and her friends being kids, playing soccer, fighting with each other, competing to be the best, their innocent lives cannot remain untouched by war. Slowly, the war creeps into their everyday lives and eventually disrupts everything they know. As I've already said, I loved this story, and my efforts here can't do it justice. You really do need to read this story. I'd recommend that you read it soon. The movie version is coming out, and while it looks really good, we all know that books are better. Thanks for listening. Now, for those of you that are my students that are going to do this, here are some of the things that I did in my book review. The first thing is that I mentioned the title and the author. Then I gave my opinion on the book. In this case, I said that I highly recommend it to everyone. I then spent a few minutes summarizing the plot of the story. I specifically mentioned some of the more important or surprising details, like how it was narrated by death and how it is about a German family during World War II, not a Jewish family. I also made a couple of comments about my experience as a reader. For example, I mentioned how I don't usually read World War II books, but that I still really enjoyed this one. And I ended by mentioning my recommendation one more time. I like this book. That's my recommendation. Okay, now it's your turn. I am really excited to see your recommendations. But before you go, here is the movie trailer for The Book Thief.